right. I think she foreign. I think she foreign. Got passports. What's your nationality? I wonder if there's more of you. She's got my attention.
It's what people like us who actually travel, get down on the ground, know.
Mhm.
He's just a cornball trying to get clicks, trying to engage for people. I'm gonna be honest, who are too poor to travel because at the end of the day, is they're probably jealous. His fan base. Oh, I can't go over there. I can't afford the trip. With all the geopolitics, the fuel price has been skyrocketing. My ticket went from what's supposed to be $400, $600 to $1,000 because I also switched it for the World Cup. But that's the point. That's not in regular working class prices anymore. $1,000 to go to Colombia, no Spirit Airlines. So I think what you're seeing there, I think he's taking advantage of the Pookie market and viewership to be like, oh, I wasn't going to go there anyways. People who go there, they just get, it's like, are you serious? Colombia, as you pointed out, it has a lot of women who, quite frankly, want to get put up, right? So the idea that they're going to go and, do that to men, it's like, while he could say they're desperate, right? They're also desperate here. I went to go see the game of Colombia, the last game versus Ghana, right? Tell me why a Salvadorian American woman comes up to me, starts flirting with me just to try to lure me to drinks. I said, and I was feeling myself, was feeling the game. I'm like, I'll buy you a drink. She tries to order 2 drinks. She gets an attitude with me. Then after the fact, she didn't even tip the bartender. So when he's like, oh, if you can't get it here, it must be you. It's like, it's the same old, same old.
You know what? That's something I actually forgot about. I haven't experienced it obviously in 3 years because I've been living here full time in Colombia, but I forgot about the fucking drink mongering like girls do there where they're trying to play you to get them to buy drinks because they don't want to buy drinks themselves. And no, it's 100%. You're right. A bit of it is it's hate because they see YouTubers or people like yourself. I don't know if you do YouTube or not, but it's people like us who have the ability to travel. They can't live that same lifestyle.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can do is get online and start typing and just throwing out a bunch of hate. Or as well, it's just you can't afford to do it. Yeah, a friend literally today who has been living here. He went back to visit his family. He said the ticket back from California for him was $1,000. So now it's like, all right, well, if I'm gonna pay $1,000, why go to Colombia or go to Colombia versus somewhere else that may be cheaper?
Yeah, no, 100%. Apparently, I don't know if you heard of Manuel's Cocina in Barranquilla. My reservation just is going to cost me probably around 200 USD.
Damn.
200 USD for its top 50 restaurant in the US. I was looking at a steak place too. The steak places were costing for picanha, which is from Brazil. It's about like 200, 250 for some Brazilian steak in Colombia. I was looking at these prices like, what happened here? This is Barranquilla, this is in Medellin. And so, that's to the point. I think that's what's happening is, in this environment we live in economically now, is the working class Pookies are priced out. Fortunately for me, I do very well for myself. I'm an engineer. You talk about YouTube. I'm actually going to slow drip engineering tutorial videos for embedded software engineering, just to get some passive income going. But because I realized there wasn't a lot of videos in that space. But from a standpoint, just to bring it back to the topic, for us, we have no worry. I think that it's a bunch of noise. I think just to keep it succinct.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's either the passport Pookies and Ray Rays, or it's the passport sisters as well who want to complain because they're making their videos as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just you're trying to bundle a bunch of the few examples that you see on the internet. You're trying to bundle everybody in that same category. You can't get women in the States like I talked about in the beginning of this this reaction. I'm not sure at what point you hopped into the video, but it's not like the options are, America has the cream of the crop when it comes to women. Like there's a reason men go to other countries to find wives, and there aren't men coming from other countries coming to the US to find wives, so that statistic is there for a reason.
Yeah. I'm glad you touched. It's basically supply and demand. If I don't know if you've ever, run through the CDC fact sheet or like, the delusional calculator, but if 40% of American women are obese, 65 to 70% of them are overweight. Now you're competing for 30% of those women. Then think about, okay, how many are LGBTQ? How many are, what would you say, taken? How many are divorced? How many have children? It's like, what are we talking about here?
And then as well, you missing a whole nother stat. How many got mental issues, whether it be depression or whatever else? That number is so small.
As a man, we're all competing for the same group of women, fit, feminine, friendly. And then this man's mad over here because the pool is so small out of 350 million. Bro, you can't go to women in the United States. I'm like, like, I finally got to a point of fitness where I'm attracting adjustable sixes from other races right now. But even then, I know that their attitudes are terrible. I'm like, it's just like you said. I was in Salvador. El Salvador with a friend. He invited me out a month ago. I had a hard, I would say, almost borderline 7. Body was great. She's probably 20. She came up to me, like, give me hard signals. The vibe was a 9 out of 10, bro. It was this was out in San Miguel, Salvador.
Okay.
Which is crazy too, because I think she had a boyfriend because she got my WhatsApp and she's like, take my WhatsApp. And then next thing I know, I go look for her information because I got curious. She wasn't interested when she found out it was the United States. I could tell she thought it was local, right? Because people like us from Salvador actually look like us.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular opinion, there are a lot of Afro Latinos, in
Latin America, period. Just
yeah,
in Latin America, period.
yeah. So just to put the nail in it is, like I said, I think she had a boyfriend. She was giving me a great vibe, and you once, like, to your point, once you start living and traveling, you realize, wow, I didn't know I had that much market value. I didn't know I had that much pull.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize you're just, because it's supply and demand. You are in America, not just earnings, but our work ethic, our education. It puts us above most of these men in other countries. They don't even have to put an effort, and they're catching beautiful women.
So essentially, I kind of compare it to when we travel abroad, we become the 10% in the United States that most women are going for. The men who make 100K or more, we essentially are that once we finally leave the States. Even if you only make 50K a year, in a lot of countries, that's putting you well beyond, I would say, the top 10% of earners in some countries. But also too, you add in the exotic factor. Most movies are from America, so we have that, going for us. That, you know, there a lot of media is basically through America, even though it's dubbed over in Spanish. But they know a lot of movies and all that stuff generally comes from America. A lot of mainstream music as well. If they're listening to pop and all that, it comes from America. So it just also gives you this large amount of status and value that you come with alone, where it's a little bit more appreciated than what our women in our own country that grew up with it, that's been accustomed to it their whole life, don't really appreciate. Which is why I was saying in the beginning with the whole, like whole mouse theory is, if it's you have the same product but in 3 different locations, it's 3 different prices. You go for where you're most valued, and in this case it would be overseas. It's just you're going to be valued more. Now I will say this, now whether you're in the United States or whether you're in Latin America, most women are always going to be looking for, and this is Europe as well, most women are always going to be trying to look for a provider, someone that can bring more into their life than what it is they currently have. Women just want a man who is better than them in every single facet of life. So, it's excuse me, it's not something unheard of that they're going to go for you. A part of it is, yes, for money. Every girl, no matter where you go, is for that you can provide them a better lifestyle, some kind of security and provision. Like, this is something as men we all should just know and accept as part of the game. And one thing I've always said before, for a lot of guys who are like, oh well, I don't want to put in all this effort to try to get women, you have to understand there is a game being played whether you want to play it or not. There is always going to be another guy that's willing to take a flight to go to another country, or that's going to be willing to spend a little bit extra money to go on dates or whatever it is. So you just saying like, oh, you don't want to do it or you don't want to acknowledge it, there's always going to be a game being played whether you like it or not, whether you want to participate or not.